Friends and learners, welcome back to another video lecture on the topic technology integration, the concept. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the concept of technology integration. Why technologies has to be integrated in the teaching learning processes? What are the different technologies available for integration? We will these concepts. We will also see the paradigm shift in the teacher roles because of the emergence of various technologies. At the end of this video lecture, we will be discussing about some of the challenges of integrating technology. So, this is in brief about the topics that we will cover in this video lecture. I once again welcome all the learners to this video lecture. So, let us start with the concept, the meaning of technology integration. In some of the videos, we have already discussed that technology, we call it as technology, or ICTs are also very popular, information and communication technologies. We also sometimes use the term media. So, these terms are interchangeably used. So, when we say technology integration, we can also say that it is ICT integration or media integration. So, to start with a brief and a simple definition of technology integration, which says technology integration means teaching a subject which exists in the curriculum via technology as an instructional tool. So, as you are aware, teaching is nothing but this is the delivery of instructions. Various instructions are given to the students. It can be related to teaching learning activities, management of classroom, conducting any assessment test. So, it can be anything. So, when technology is used for such instructional purposes, this is nothing but this is technology integration. Another definition says technology integration is the application of to facilitate learning through different mediums, provide opportunities for student centric learning, engage learners and allow for differentiation and learning preferences. So, as I said, instructional delivery, and if a teacher gives some activity to the students, so they will be engaging the students in learning activities, and when any technology or ICT or media is used for engaging learners, this is nothing but the technology integration. So, that way different media, different technologies which provide opportunities for student centric learning. So, that is also one of the important concepts which we need to be aware about, so student centric learning. The normal or the traditional way of classroom teaching is teacher oriented, teacher centric, where teacher will be giving instructions, will be delivering lecture. This will be shifted to student centric learning activities. Teachers will give activities, students will complete the activities. So, student centric learning. So, if technology is used for this purpose, then that is also technology integration. Let us see one more definition which says technology integration as the effective implementation of educational technology to accomplish intended learning outcomes. We consider educational technology to be any tool, piece of equipment or device, electronic or mechanical, that can be used to help students accomplish specified learning goal. So, friends, very clear, pretty clear. When a teacher deliver the instruction, of course, there will be some learning outcomes or learning goals. So, what all technologies, what all strategies the teacher can play to accomplish, to make students to achieve those goals and for which if technology is used as a supplementary medium, then this is technology integration. So, very simple friends, these are some of the standardized definitions for technology integration, and we can say when a technology is integrated, when any ICT, when any media is integrated in the teaching learning processes, is used in the teaching learning processes, this is technology integration. We can quote number of examples. Say for example, in a face to face classroom teaching learning situation, if a teacher makes use of a what we say a interactive whiteboard, this is technology integration. In the case of open and distance learning, when electronic texts are given to the students, and that is also nothing but technology integration. When different audio video technologies are used, again that is technology integration, and of course in online and blended learning many technologies are used. I hope this is a very simple concept, technology integration. Now let us discuss about why technology integration is necessary, why it is needed. One point is enhancement of quality of teaching learning. Of course, say for example, if I am a teacher, I want to give a demonstration of an experiment. If that experiment is, or the resources or materials or equipments which are required for demonstrating that experiment is not available, then usually the teachers say, like you can imagine taking a bottle, then adding so and so material. So, this is a kind of a verbal explanation. But if we have technology, if we can use technology for that, and if we can make use of technology for demonstrating such experiments, then of course the students will be easily picking up the concept, and that way the quality will be enhanced. There are different ways by which quality can be enhanced. So, one of the important points I would say quality of teaching learning. Second is access to digital resources. Even though there is digital divide, but there are good chances of getting access to the electronic devices and digital devices. So, since this is accessible, since such technologies are accessible, then of course this can be used in the teaching learning processes. The third is equity issues. The education is not equally available to many students. By using technology, this can also be minimized. Let us take the case of this SWAYAM program, SWAYAM courses. The SWAYAM courses are free. Anyone who is interested in taking the courses through SWAYAM platform, of course they have to register and they can complete the course. So, it is absolutely free. So, that way this education or the courses or programs are available to a large number of participants or students. So, that way equity issues can be minimized. Then the other important point is change in trends in learning. We used to say the students are digital natives. Today's students are digital natives. They love to play with the digital devices, electronic devices and digital technologies. So, when any teaching learning material, teaching learning resources or activities are provided through the digital devices, of course, students will be interested in doing that. The next important point is, friends, the change in trends in learning. We are aware that today's generation, they are digital natives. They make use of many digital technologies. So, when any teaching learning situation or activities are provided through digital technologies, then they love to do that. So, this is also very important, the change in trends in learning. So, wherever there is a possibility to make use of technology in the teaching learning processes, then of course the teachers need to make use of it. The next is enhances student autonomy and individualized learning practices. What was happening in the previous or the traditional classrooms? Teachers were delivering the lecture and it was teacher centric. Students were not getting much facilities for learning on their own. So, but when technology or activities are given through technologies, they have to learn on their own, students. So, that way individualized learning practices are promoted or enhanced. So, then it leads us to the next point, which says it will help students to actively engage in learning. Earlier in traditional classrooms, teachers were playing the major role, but when technologies are used, this will help students to actively engage in the teaching learning processes or learning processes. The next is students get the opportunity to learn beyond classroom hours. Now it is 24/7 learning. Otherwise, students were only learning in the classrooms from morning to evening, and when the class disperses, then learning also ends that way. But of course, they do the assignment and all at their home. But when technology is used, there is no limit of time that can be done. So, it goes beyond the classroom hours. So, that is why we call learning is flexible and convenient. Whenever they are free to learn, they can of course do that. So, that is why we again say anywhere, anytime learning. The next is access to quality learning resources. Of course, students get access to quality learning resources. Say for example, a good video program can be made and this can be given to the students. This can be edited and that can be given to the students. So, the quality, when all those procedures or processes are done for preparing the video program, then of course, this will enhance the quality. So, there are many such good quality learning resources available on the internet. We call it as open education resources. Even otherwise, there are many digital teaching learning resources. Students can make use of such devices or what we say learning resources for their learning. Next, it reduces the cost of education. As I was saying, the case of SWAYAM, of course, it is free of course, students have to enroll and complete the program. So, it reduces the cost of education that way. Next is it improves the student attitude towards learning. This is also very important. The next we can say it benefits students with the special needs. Now, what we say the concept of inclusion is also practiced. There are many students who require special assistance, children with special needs. So, if it is not a what we say intense kind of special need, such students are taught along with the normal students. So, such students also get benefited out of such digital technologies. Next is the enhancement of students' quality of work. What was happening? They used to write in paper. If it is an assignment or project report, then this will be submitted. And say for example, if the students do not have good handwriting skill, then it will be very difficult to read that way. But when technologies, any text editing softwares are used, then this can be beautifully prepared, the reports can be beautifully prepared, that way it again enhances the quality of work. The next is prepare students for future jobs by developing ICT skills. So, it is very much clear that whenever students use any technologies, their ICT skills also get improved. And there are many such jobs which requires ICT skills. So, indirectly students also develop this skill. The next is students, teachers, instructions, supplements teachers' instructions. Of course, along with the lecture methods, teachers can make use of many technologies. So, it is used as a supplementary medium for instructional purposes. The next is helps to plan and manage activities of an educational institutions. When we talk about the ICT use, we have already discussed in some of the videos that it is used for teaching learning, assessment, management of teaching learning activities and professional development. In general, these are the places or we can make use of technologies. So, we can also make use of technology for managing the different teaching learning activities. So, and that is why we say technology integration is very much needed, because there are many points which support why technology integration is needed. Now friends, I would also like to make a mentioning of the National Education Policy 2020, which says technology integration is needed to support teacher preparation and development, improve teaching, learning and evaluation processes, enhance educational access to disadvantaged groups, and streamline educational planning, administration and management. So, whatever points we have discussed in the previous slide, this is again what we say, it is recommended, or we can say this is mentioned in the new education policy. Technology has to be used because there are many such what we say points which supports technology integration, like it can improve teaching, learning and evaluation processes, it enhances educational access to disadvantaged groups, and streamline educational planning, administration and management. Now, I would also like to point out the chapter 24 of the National Education Policy, which has recommended 10 recommendations. And you can see one of the recommendation, we have to what we say organize digital infrastructures, online teaching platform and tools also need to be organized. Then we have to develop content, digital contents, digital repositories, and this has to be disseminated. Then about setting the virtual labs, then online assessment and examination practices, and the other important recommendation is the blended models of teaching. So, what is going to happen? Some of the topics will be taught in the face-to-face mode, some units or chapters will be taught using the digital technologies. So, this is also recommended in the National Education Policy. You can also see a comparison between the conventional and ICT integrated class or technology integrated classroom. One side, on the left side of the screen, you are seeing a conventional classroom where teachers and students will be physically present in the classroom for the teaching learning activities. Students submit assignment again in paper pencil or paper pen method will be used. Classroom discussions also happen. Students also attend the examination. Again paper pen method is used. But all these activities which happens in a normal traditional classroom is equally possible in the online world also, in the virtual space also. So, that is going to be then ICT integrated classroom. In place of teaching, online teaching, assignment submission is electronic in nature. Classroom discussion, we make use of online discussions or discussion forum. Examination is turning to be online test. So, friends, then technology is going to be an important component. If you want to replicate the activities which are happening in a traditional classroom, then technologies are must. Now, what technologies we would prepare? See, the SWAYAM course has a 4-quadrant approach. If you see in this video program, in this course also, we are providing you self-learning materials, e-books, e-text. So, this is the quadrant 2nd of this SWAYAM program. In quadrant 1, you are seeing video, audio, etc. That is why you are seeing some video programs. Then quadrant 3 is discussion forum, quadrant 4 is related to the examination. So, friends, quadrant 1 and quadrant 2 is specifically dedicated to using technologies. So, anyone who is doing any program in the SWAYAM platform, they will see some reading text and video materials. Apart from this, they will also see some other digital contents. So, friends, if you want to make use of technologies in the teaching learning processes in your classrooms, you also have to prepare what we say digital contents or ICT, digital teaching learning, ICT resources. Now, if that is the case, then what technologies will be integrated? Since there are number of technologies, then again this is a question. So, either you can follow the what we say some of the technologies which we have pointed out in the SWAYAM platform, SWAYAM courses. It is not only limited to that 4-quadrant, but there are many such technologies we can use. We will see some of such technologies. And if you want to use such technologies, then I would also like to mention about the paradigm shift in teacher roles. I was saying, if you are making use of blended teaching learning processes, blended teaching learning situations, then some topics you will be teaching you in the face to face mode, some you will be making use of what we say technologies. Then a teacher role will be shifting either into what we say a creator or a curator. So, as a teacher now you have to develop teaching learning resources, e-content, ICT resources or digital content. If it is difficult, of course, then we have the second option where we can curate the e-content, digital content or ICT resources. So, friends, there is absolutely no issue that way. By practice we will also develop the skill of creating e-content, but of course, why we need to play the role of a curator? Because there are many digital resources available on the internet, but we are not free to take such resources. As a teacher, you cannot take all the materials available on the internet because of the copyright issues, but there are resources which we call it as open educational resources that can be used. So, either we have to create or then we can curate the digital resources. So, along with the face to face teaching, then the teachers also need to create or curate the digital resources. So, let us see now what are the technologies which we can use. We have discussed in couple of other videos also. It includes both the digital devices and application softwares. So, these are some of the technologies like computer, tablet, television, radio, mobile phones, LCD projector, smart board or interactive whiteboard. These are the devices, digital devices which we can make use of, and I hope you are making use of some of these devices in the teaching learning processes. Along with that, we have a list of what we say the application softwares or the what we say apps like short messaging service, blogs, websites, QR code, learning management systems, e-content which are into different forms like audio, video, podcast, graphics, animation, e-book, virtual reality, augmented reality, and this list is a, it's not ending that way. There are many such application softwares which we can use in the teaching learning processes. And in the screen you are seeing again some of the apps which are little bit popular that way. So, you can also think of using these technologies or application softwares, like for e-learning you can make use of what we say Adapt, Adobe, Geobra, Learn, Bubble, and there are many. There are quizzing and testing tools. We were saying about the tests are going to be online. So, if you want to organize a test online, or if you want to make use of technologies for testing the students' progress, then we have to make use of quizzes and testing tools. So, you are seeing some of the tools on the screen. Then, as I was saying, the processes or the procedures which are happening in a traditional classroom can be entirely shifted to a virtual space, for which we make use of learning management systems or learning platforms like Google Classroom, Moodle. There are many such learning management system. Then again, if you want to develop any video programs, and while giving the video program, if you want to demonstrate something, then you have to make use of screen capture tools. So, on the screen you are seeing some of the screen capture, screencasting tools. Then for developing audio programs, audio and podcasting tools like Adobe, Audition, Audacity, and couple of other application softwares are there. Friends, again for developing text documentation tools are available. We are very much aware about the Microsoft Word, but there are many other application softwares like Apple Pages, Bean, Google Docs, etc. Then for developing PDF kind of books or flipping books, you have couple of application softwares. For developing presentation, we have presentation tools. For developing spreadsheet tools are available. Then again, for developing images, graphics and images, there are many tools, clipart image and photo sharing platforms. So, it is not only developing images and using it in the what we say in your classroom teaching learning process, this has to be shared. You also have to show some interest in sharing, because other people can also make use of your resources. So, for that photo sharing platforms are also available. Then graphic and infographic tools, again there are many. Now, for developing animations and video, many application softwares are available like Animato, Kaltura,Ynode. YouTube is again a platform where the videos that we are making can be uploaded. Then augmented and virtual reality tools, then blogging tools. Then if you want to develop a website of your own, then you can make use of web page and website tools. Then for conducting any surveys and polls, you can make use of form and polling and survey tools. This is also required if you do any online lectures. When you are giving any online lectures, of course, if you want to take a poll of your participants, then such tools can be used. Friends, then again email tools, messaging apps and chat tools are there. Then the other important technology is the discussion forum. Why? Because in normal classrooms also discussions takes place. This is replicated in the virtual space using discussion forum tools. So, any topic which you want to be discussed among the students, this can be posted in the discussion forum, then students can keep on commenting or replying to that post. So, that is discussion forum. Then webinar, web meeting and virtual classroom tools, there are many as you are seeing on the screen. Then journaling apps are also there, some of them are shown on the screen. Now, friends, again for public social networking, there are social networking sites. This is also very common like Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups. Many teachers make use of these social networks for sharing their digital teaching learning resources. Then file and resources sharing, collaborative online brainstorming and whiteboarding. There are couple of technologies or application softwares. Then there are group organizers and task managers like Doodle, Google Calendar. So, if you want to give a lecture maybe in the next week, this can be set in the Google Calendar. So, when the time comes, it will give automatically a reminder. So, such tools can also be used in the teaching learning processes. Friends, again digital notebooks and personal information systems. For searching anything on the internet, we have search and research tools. For curation, news curation and bookmarking tools are available. Then another important tool is mind mapping tool, just to make students to create some map related to the concept they are learning. For that, mind mapping tools or concept mapping tools can be used. So, this is also very important, the mind mapping or concept mapping tools. Again, so these are some of the technologies which we can use. So, friends, we were saying that either you have to create the e-content or then otherwise we have to curate the e-content. So, from where we will curate the materials? I was saying that open education resources are available. This can be searched and that can be used in your teaching learning process. Our government also have some initiatives which would help us to get the open education resources, such as OERs are there. This is available in the what we say platforms like Swayamprabha, then SimLab, then Virtual Lab, FOSI. So, there are some initiatives from our government which would help us to take the open education resources. So, if you feel like it is fitting to your teaching learning process, of course, you can visit this website and if materials are available that can be used in your teaching learning processes. Now friends, we are going to wind up this lecture with the discussion on the challenges of technology integration. We have extensively discussed about why it is required and the different technologies available for technology integration. But of course, there are some challenges also, like infrastructure related. If as a teacher I want to use make use of interactive whiteboard, then of course that has to be there in my classroom, in the institution. Then other technologies like a computer and all those what we say like infrastructures or technologies which are required for running the interactive whiteboard, computer, connecting wires, all those has to be there. So, there are challenges related to infrastructure, teacher related, maybe we can say teacher attitude, that is also there. Capacity building, many of the teachers are not getting proper training in using technologies. So, capacity building is also there. Technical support related technologies which are required for, and the supporting what we say environment, if it is not there, then this is also going to be a challenge. Then language and content related. I was saying about open education resources. Many open education resources are prepared in the English language. So, if it is not suitable to our context, then this will again create issues. Then sustainability related issues are there, equality related issues are also there. So, friends, if we talk about the challenges, these are some of the challenges which we can point out. Of course, but using technology is recommended because of the number of what we say advantages we have because of integrating technology in the teaching learning processes. So, as a teacher you must explore, you have to try to integrate technology in the teaching learning processes. With this I am concluding this video lecture. In this lecture we have extensively talked about why technology integration is required and the challenges of the technology integration. We have also discussed about some of the technologies which as a teacher you can make use of in your teaching learning processes. I hope you have understood the concept and the technologies that we have discussed in this video lecture. Thank you for watching this lecture.